Hello, so I'm Jackie McGinn. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my screen because I haven't prepared for today. I'm Jackie McGinn. I'm a spiritual mentor and energy healer. And all this week, I decided to share some of the books that have shown up in sometimes strange ways and that have been the ones, when books show up and it's just what you needed. I'm going to share some of those and how they've shaped how I see the world and answers to some of those bigger questions about, the philosophical questions about why we're here, what happens when we die, why do bad things happen. And I really think that when we've got answers to those questions that resonate with us, that gives us more resilience. It gives us like a real inner strength and empowerment to be able to face anything that life throws at us. And during those times when we're kind of up leveling, challenging ourselves to take risks and do more, it's good to have this stronger core that kind of helps us through it. So the first one that I'm going to share is a book. I've talked about this story with a few people, but so this is a book. It is, I'll make sure you can see it, Lawrence van der Post, A Walk with a White Bushman. Now, it was 2003 when this one really did just appear. I was in a mess, emotionally wrecked, mentally wrecked, spiritually very confused. I'd had a breakdown. My dad had died. And kind of from a spiritual perspective, I had been quite atheist in my views, but being faced with my own dad's death kind of really shook that up and was like, that there must be more. I was also experiencing a lot of synchronicity, and kind of deep down, I knew it had more meaning, but I didn't have any language or way of talking about it. And then this one appeared. So it's like sitting down with a really wise, experienced, well-traveled, well-read old man who is just sharing his wisdom and his philosophy. I mean, all the quotes on the back of the book are just about what an inspiring book it is. It's kind of a biography of his life, and it's just such an optimistic way of looking at things. And he was good friends with Carl Jung. So he talks a lot about his relationship with Jung, and about how he largely agrees with Jung's ideas about the collective unconscious and synchronicity, and that there is some kind of organizing intelligence, some kind of consciousness that really does connect us all, not just on a so it's not kind of like a god up there, but it's really something down here that organizes us all. And this is where synchronicity comes from. That synchronicity is these amazing coincidences like this one appearing, that just make you go, oh, okay, that was meaningful, that was really cool. Now, a really big one happened towards the end of reading this book. So I was out with some friends for my birthday. I'd been given a very large, crazy present by one of my friends, and it was in a really big bag. And so, Japanese, I was living in Japan at the time. Japanese people are very generous. They gave me lots of presents. Most of them I put into this big, huge bag. There was one present, which is this little wooden owl, that I kept separate from everything else. So everything, I didn't really realize I'd done it. I just kind of like unconsciously slipped it into my handbag instead of putting it with all the other presents. Now, I'd been through quite a crappy time and everybody knew that. And in Japanese, the word for owl is fukuro, which also means not struggle. So, it's like a kind of good luck, comfort, charm type thing. Now, towards the end of this book, I finished the book shortly after this. Now, shortly after I did that with the little wooden owl, I read this bit. So there, yeah, sorry. Suddenly, an owl appeared, fluttering at the kitchen window, and hooted loudly. Bleak's children were all terrified, but the bushmen started dancing and clapping their hands, singing, "He has arrived, he has arrived." As we walked to the Institute building, the owl followed us from treetop to treetop, and for 2.5 hours of my talk continued to hoot so loudly at regular intervals that its voice mingles with my own on the tape recording. For me, there is great comfort and reassurance in this little happening, and above all, its timing. And the certainty which never left me that Jung has arrived at the true destination, not only of himself, but for us all and all time. In the movie, when kind of like the camera zooms in on the person and it kind of zooms out in the background, that's what it felt like at the moment that I read that. And that was the point where I was like, I've got to find out more about this Jungu guy. I didn't know much about him at the time. And so eventually I read the very short introduction. They're always good for kind of getting an overview in a really nice thin book. And then eventually, so I guess it's kind of like two for the price of one books. Memories, Dreams, Reflections. It's another amazing book about, another very wise man sharing his wisdom, sharing the depth of his insight. And it really, it took a long time afterwards to kind of like really get back to like feeling good again, because it shook me up and I was confused, but it really planted this seed of hope that I am okay. I'm going to find out what was happening, and there was just this real kind of like reassurance deep in my heart. And I think it's amazing how books can do that, isn't it? That they can really reach into your heart, reach into your soul, and reassure you that no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what you're going through, it's going to be okay. And that's just one of the magical things about books. So this is the first one, well, kind of two that I'm sharing today. I know this one's not that well known, which is why it was kind of a little bit weird that it showed up. But if you have read either of these, please do tell me what you thought of them, or like anything Jungian. What books have inspired you? Let's just share the magic of books and sharing ideas, and one person being brave enough to put all of their ideas into writing and share that with the world. So this was the first video, and I will keep going and just introducing quite a few really powerful books that can help. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.